Catherine Hicks, already an Emmy nominee, for stepping into Marilyn Monroe's heels for the 1980 TV movie Marilyn: The Untold Story, when she signed on to play Camden family matriarch Annie. The New York native continued to rack up roles in small-screen films such as 2011's A Valentine's Day Date, 2012's A Christmas Wedding Date and 2015's A Christmas Reunion. Though the mom to 30-year-old daughter Caitlin Yeager, with special effects makeup artist husband of more than 30 years, Kevin Yeager, took a brief hiatus from the Lifetime and Hallmark Channel circuit after 2016's Honeymoon from Hell, she was back in TV action last year, voicing a fairy in J.J. Villard's Fairy Taliesin Cartoon Network, and she could clearly be persuaded to return to Glenoak with a few necessary modifications. Raise your hand if you're ready to see Annie get her groove back. Stephen Collins. Collins had a thriving career before donning Eric Camden's clerical collar thanks to parts in 1976's All the President's Men, 1979's Star Trek: The Motion Picture and 1996's The First Wives Clubs. And as the patriarch of Seventh Heaven, he leaned hard into his family man image, even serving as a lay Eucharistic minister at Beverly Hills All Saints Church. Post-show, he booked gigs on Private Practice, No Ordinary Family, Scandal and Devious Maids, but everything unraveled after he filed to divorce actress Faye Grant, his wife of nearly 30 years, in 2012. 2 years later, in the midst of an increasingly nasty split, TMZ obtained a tape in which Collins purportedly spoke with a therapist about his inappropriate contact with 3 minors. Despite acknowledging she made the recording, Grant denied having any involvement in leaking it, though the dad-to-daughter Kate opened up to Katie Couric about the experiences involving a 10-year-old, a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old and apologized for any pain I have caused these 3 women. He has not worked since 2014. He now lives in Iowa with his 50 years younger wife Jenny Nagel. Jessica Beale. Arguably the most famous Camden alum, the series Wild Child is also the least likely to return to the fold. I think I definitely sort of butted up against those limitations and those boundaries for a multitude of reasons, she told the Awards Chatter podcast in 2018 of her experience. Because, yeah, you can only do so much with a particular character, specifically on a show like that. We really had to sort of stay in the boundaries of a somewhat religious family and teaching lessons, and when, you're 16, 14, 15, 16, you get to a point when you're like, oh man, I just want to do something different. I just want to cut my hair, and I just want to dye it a different color, and I can't do all these things because I have this contract. Ultimately, she did cut her hair, she recalled, and I got in a lot of trouble for that. I had to apologize to everybody, which is sort of the theme of my experience on Seventh Heaven. I was always apologizing. And this was before the then 17-year-old decided to pose topless for Men's Magazine gear in 2000. Following her exit from the fictional town of Glenoak, Beale focused mainly on film roles, collecting parts in 2010's The A-Team, 2011's New Year's Eve, 2012's Total Recall and Hitchcock, 2016's A Kind of Murder, before returning to the small screen as executive producer and star of Sinner in 2017. There wasn't like a driving force behind it. I got on a path of doing films. But, as we all know, the film industry has become very limited. I wanted to take control of my career again, which is what I had in mind when I started this small production company, she explained to The Hollywood Reporter of forming Iron Ocean Productions with good friend Michelle Purple. Also, television was changing. It's become such an incredible place where if you have a thought out, interesting, fresh idea, you have a great opportunity, especially as a woman, to put something on television. But since her lead role in the splashy first season, she's focused largely on voice work, BoJack Horseman, Pete the Cat, and the 10-part crime series Limetown, as she and husband Justin Timberlake raise their 6-year-old sons Silas and Phineas, too. Beverly Mitchell. With years' worth of credits to her name when she nabbed the part of Wild AF preacher's daughter Lucy at age 15, Mitchell is the first to call herself Blessed. I have been acting since I was 4 and have loved each and every minute of it, she wrote on her lifestyle website Growing Up Hollywood. She's very much still in the biz with a 2-year stint on The Secret Life of the American Teenager, a handful of Lifetime films and even 2 seasons of Pop's Hollywood darlings that saw her, Jodie Sweetin and Christine Lakin play exaggerated versions of themselves. But most days, she detailed in her Instagram bio, she's juggling #mom life. After a heartbreaking 2018 miscarriage of her twins, Mitchell and accountant husband Michael Cameron welcomed their third child, daughter Maisel, in July 2020. Like older siblings Kenzie, 8, and Hutton, 6, the budding star has her own 10,000-plus person Insta following. Barry Watson, the eldest child, flew the Camden coop in 2002 after 6 seasons as a regular when he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. In remission by the following April, he returned for guest spots as he shot movies like 2004's Love on the Side and 2005's Boogeyman until 2006 when he nabbed the lead role in the short-lived comedy What About Brian? A small screen fixture, he's had substantial runs on Samantha Who, Gossip Girl, as Serena van der Woodson's boyfriend, Heart of Dixie and Date My Dad, a 2017 comedy that saw the widower's trio of daughters try to fix him up. In real life, though, he's had no trouble in that department. In 2014, the twice-wed dad of Oliver, 16, and Felix, 14, married Natasha Gregson Wagner, mom to his 9-year-old daughter Clover. David Gallagher, steadily working since the age of 2, transitioning from print advertorials and television commercials to voicing Mikey in the final installment of Kirstie Alley and John Travolta's Look Who's Talking trilogy. The New York City native has collected some 50 credits across his 30-plus year career. Since graduating from his part as middle child Simon and then, subsequently, the University of Southern California, where he majored in film and television studies, the 5-time Young Artist Award nominee and Teen Choice Award winner has appeared on Numb 3 Rupees, The Vampire Diaries and pretty much every version of CSI. In addition to voicing Riku in the Kingdom Hearts video game series, he's worked on crime series DPD. Echo 1. Sponsored links by Taboola. The 15 easiest dog breeds to look after. Plays star Mackenzie Rossman. Like her older on-screen sis, little Ruthie Camden shocked her squeaky clean fanbase when she posed for a Sexy Maxim shoot in 2013. By then, Shed booked a handful of post-Seventh Heaven credits, including a 4-episode stint on The Secret Life of the American Teenager and TV movie Ghost Shark. But it's her other passion that fills up her Instagram feed, the equestrian show jumper, a fixture on the competitive circuit. Having lost stepsister Caitlin Salmont to cystic fibrosis, Rossman also devotes much of her time to working with charities such as the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, Child Help Inc. George Stultz. All in the Family. With younger brother Jeff Stultz already recurring as Mary's love interest Ben Kinkirk, the college wrestler auditioned for a bit part on the series, only to land a regular role as Ben's older brother Kevin, who romances and, eventually weds, Lucy. His big break after guest spots on Will, Joey and A Secured Place in the Hallmark Channel universe, appearing in holiday fare like 2015's I Am Not Ready for Christmas, 2019's A Kiss on Candy Cane, Lan and last season's Hope for the Holidays.